Welcome to Momentum Monday, early edition. Today is December 5th, 2025. Howard, are you surprised by the market strength in the past couple of
Um,
weeks?
Seasonably, no. I mean, I don't ever get surprised. I get surprised by policy. I don't get surprised by the markets. So no. I mean, now I think it's like a 10 days up in a row. I mean, that's quite a streak
Yeah.
considering how panicked everybody was. Listen, let's most important, consumer sentiment is almost as low as it was in 2008. And I have to say that is bullish for the markets generally when you have it's kind of like a fear and greed thing where there's not really much fear or greed. There's just a lot of negativity in terms of the economy, and everybody's hoping for a rate cut. And like we live in this kind of world where, like today, Netflix and saying they want to buy Warner's, but like that's not a deal until Trump says it's a deal. So that's policy is what surprises me. You know, and whether you agree with Netflix being able to buy or it's a smart deal, Warner Brothers, WBD. They can say what they want, but like Trump's going to have to approve this deal because that's the way the world is running right now. So that surprises me, right? Like they can announce what they want, but until you get into the president's office. So so I think what's most surprising is the market's climbing not a wall of worry, but like a wall of like everything's normal. So but follow the price, right? Like
Yeah, I mean, a couple of weeks ago,
enjoy, enjoy,
yeah,
enjoy the fact that the markets are up. I don't know. What do you see?
yeah,
What do you see? What do you
yeah.
see? What do
I
you
mean, a
got?
couple of weeks ago, we talked about how important it is for all the major averages held above their rising 20 week, that green
Yeah,
line here,
yeah,
especially small caps.
yeah.
They tested previous resistance that became support closed above the 20 week, and then it was immediate follow through the following 2 weeks. And small caps have been really leading in the past couple of weeks and now setting up here near multi-year high.
Right.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more consolidation, but this price action is bullish.
Yeah.
The dips continue to get bought.
Yeah, the
Um,
Russell's beautiful. And look at the QQQJ. This is something I never talk about because it's been a dog, right? But after after if you look at from the tariff lows, right? So this is the QQQ 101 to 200 market cap. So I haven't looked at, what those companies are. So, so this is the IWM on steroids, I would think, right? So I think people should get familiar with this ticker and some of the components of it, Ivan. We're gonna have to start tracking this because this has been, if we go to the monthly, I don't know when they launched this, right? This is just you're getting an all-time high in the next gen, you know, companies we've never heard of, kind of like the IPO the IPO ticker in many ways. So I'm going to do some work on this, but you combine this with what's happening in the IWM, and I think this is how you have to start. Like every time I start thinking about what are you going to do outside the FANG, right? Like I bought some Amazon this week. There'll be a Trends with Friends out next week that kind of goes through why I started out at Amazon. So now I own three stocks of the FANG. I got Apple, Google, Amazon. But if you go below that, maybe the QQQJ is your diversification, right? Like trying and that's kind of or the IWM. You can avoid some stock picking right now by doing that. So those are some things I'm thinking about. But look at Goldman. Like let's go financial. Like we'll get to, you got gold. I always talk about this. I talked about the three Gs, I don't know, a couple of years ago, saying they're going to do better than everything else. Goldman, Google, and Goldman Sachs, which is basically the economy. You got Google, which is an ETF. You got Goldman, which is pillaging the world financially, right? And then you got gold, which is your hedge against government. So you really, that thing when I don't know, paid 23 or 20, like 2024, I said those three stocks will give you the diversification you need. And it's just been probably the trade of a lifetime. Um, and then I think you can add in Hood, which represents everything that, what we think about Hood, everything that is the degenerate economy, right? You had a little pullback. You've had two little pullbacks in the last 3 years. I mean, wow. This was trading at cash in 23, got down to like 9, 10 bucks, $8, and it has not looked back. You had that little thrust in early 24, the pullback, and then it's just been, off to the frickin' races. And people ask me what I think about the markets, and I say, why are you thinking about the markets? It's represented by like a few companies here that are so big and they're just so smart and they're so well positioned. I think for the most part, I mean, people are over diversified, right? Look at Apple and then Apple all-time highs. Well, no, it reversed today, but pretty much all-time highs. So, where's Nvidia?
Nvidia has been lagging in the
Because the
past
story is, yeah, not
month or
not
so,
too
yeah.
badly though, just digesting an incredible run.
Yeah, just comparing it to the overall semiconductor index SMH, it's been lagging the past couple weeks ever
Sure,
since
but
they
it
reported
outperformed for
earnings.
3 years and
Yeah.
it's digesting, just like Google versus QQQ. Nvidia versus QQQ is probably, lagging the last year, year and a half, but for 3 years it massively outperformed.
Yeah, I mean, the big story is that if you compare semiconductors, the SMH versus software for the past 12 months, like SMH is up 45%. Software, represented by IGV, but that ETF, it's
Yeah.
flat. So it's really interesting, that
Well, because
huge
Salesforce, there's a lot of companies in here who just don't.
disparity in performance, yeah, in
Yeah.
tech, yeah.
Yeah.
It
What
seems like
else? What
I mean,
else do you see? What else do you see?
what else in the past few days you're seeing a significant increase in risk appetite.
Yeah, a lot of the shit stocks are like going up.
Yeah, a lot of those high flyers that basically went down 50% in November and
Yeah.
part of
I'm seeing them,
October.
I'm seeing them trend on StockTwits and I'm like shaking
They're
my head with
starting to
that.
bounce. Stocks like Oklo. I mean, we're talking about the four speculative groups: nuclear, rare earth metals, space, and anything robot related. And
Uh-huh.
they're speculative because of valuations, but obviously all of them have huge potential, and some of the companies in those industries are going to become real, juggernauts and earn a ton of money in the future. But as of right now, most of them are just trading, with negative earnings, very little revenue, most of them. But yeah, we saw this return in risk appetite. We saw a bounce in those highly shorted speculative areas of the market, and then like a couple days after the bounce, and then Oklo immediately announced the secondary. Like, this is the problem with those types of stocks that don't have any earnings and revenue. They basically trade like biotechs. Like, they're going to use any opportunity to raise cash because they need it to continue to exist
Right.
and to operate. And this is the problem that when they've been down 50%,
Mm-hmm.
when you see those bounces, they're usually very short-term trading opportunities. Like, you need to see a much bigger base for them to, consider them for like a multi-week move like we saw here, like
Right,
after they
right.
build that,
I'm so glad
multi-week
I don't
base.
trade, but I agree with you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice bounce. I mean, that's what you get when you pull back 50% into an upward trending 200-day moving average. Interesting. But these things have no revenue. I don't know. People that God bless. That's why prediction markets exist. The people are willing to trade inanimate objects right here.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, they've been the hottest really areas in September, October, went up, 100, 200%. And after that gave all of it back. So it's
Yeah.
normal to see more speculation towards the year ends in exactly the same name. But otherwise, Deep continue to get bought. Their stocks continuing to set up from various industries.
Yeah.
Um, Like it's interesting that in the semiconductor space, kind of Nvidia is currently lagging, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see another headline, that US will now allow China to buy, newer Nvidia chips, and then Nvidia will be up, 5-10%
Yeah.
on that news. So obviously, if the AI trade continues to be on everyone's radar, Nvidia remains a player. So it's something I keep,
What else are looking interesting on your swing at biotechs? I mean, I don't trade them, but
I mean,
they're
biotech is strong, but nothing particular in biotechs. Maybe just GAZZ is kind of had a big volume breakout. Now it's pulling back and it's starting to stabilize and potentially set up for another leg
yeah.
higher, or at
Well, they
least,
must have a huge new drug. Look at the earnings
yeah, they
expectation.
have multiple drugs, but it's a profitable company, at least
Yeah.
that, yeah. And it's here's the weekly, and here's a monthly. So it's a big base here
Wow.
that is working on
Wow. Just been quiet for what's the market cap?
10 billion.
Wow. That is a I'd have to read up on the drug. I mean, yeah, there's something that's worth reading up on.
Yeah.
It's just
Um,
oncology, pain, yeah, narco. Yeah. Anyways, um, cool. I mean, here's the good point: financials, biotech, small caps, tech beyond Fang, and
yeah,
some
there are a lot of
bank.
setups, but
I don't
we,
know.
we
If you're
have
going
to
to be
consider
bearish, it doesn't pay to be bearish.
we have to consider that, we have the FOMC meeting next week.
Mhm.
And I don't know if the market really expects a rate cut this time, because in the previous two times we would see rates come down and bonds rally ahead of the meeting, and now
Right.
we're seeing the opposite. So the market is not so sure this time that we will see a 25 basis points rate cut, especially given the fact that the Fed doesn't have the information it seeks. I mean, today we saw the PCE inflation 2.8, still above their 2% target, but they won't have the employment data, which was postponed for next Friday. It seems like they're playing games there.
Right.
And so I'm kind of thinking that if they don't cut rates, that might be an excuse for the market to, have a rug pull, like a quick shakeout, just like we saw a couple weeks ago. And so there's something to, pay attention to. Um,
Yeah. I know that like in my degenerate economy index versus just indexing, like just straight in my index accounts, like straight direct indexing accounts are hitting all-time highs today. And my stock picking accounts are not hitting all-time highs. So I think, we're in this market where if you haven't rotated your stock picking, you're underperform. You know what I mean? There's some new stuff working, right?
yeah, there's
Yeah.
constant rotation, absolutely, like
Yeah,
every
so
month
that,
or
that
so.
that's the number one thing I noticed. Not that you can read that much into it, but that my indexing and direct index accounts are back at all-time highs, and I'm about 5% off my all-time highs, which have done better like last 3, 4 years, but they're not back to all-time highs. So there's some kind of change in tone. It's broader. I think the market's a little broader right now.
Yeah, and you can see that in small caps basically outperforming in the past
Yeah,
couple
and
of weeks and,
financials. Yeah, right. Financials,
and, and
small caps.
setting
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, and biotechs. Okay. It's Friday. I'm tired, everybody.
All right
Enjoy the
then.
weekend, Ivan. Where are you
Th
going? You're heading out of town?
yeah, I'm going to the Cayman Islands.
Ooh, you gonna set up a bank account and stuff?
Yeah, do you want me to set up something for you, like a
I'm
company or
covered. I
anything?
got bank accounts in Ireland, here,
Okay.
there, wherever it's illegal, I have bank accounts. All right.
All right.
See you,
Bye.
everybody.